last time on the Great Ace Attorney 2.
Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Are you hearing the defense's astonishing proposal that the witness fabricated this vast machine with the intention of deceiving some wretched scientist? That he did so in collusion with the country's finest coroner, and that to effect the deception, he used a waxwork model.
If you put it like that, of course it sounds implausible.
So, as indicated by the foreman, the jury has reached a
Consciousness.
The jury has reached consciousness. They have awoken from their stupor.
The jury has achieved consciousness.
I've known that woman for years. She'd never been an accomplice to anything.
Surely the waxwork man stole it. Nothing to do with the coroner, is it? Perhaps demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe would be enough.
No one would have called a coroner into question in them days. A coroner's report was the hallmark of an investigation done right until it was updated, especially when Dr. Aha!
Got
There
it!
it is.
Objection! Those two statements clearly contradict each other. It's brought to light the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Scythe, which in turn has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before. I have here a certain autopsy report from 10 years ago. It is, of course, from the autopsy of the person portrayed in the waxwork, the killer known as the Professor. This is the certification of death that was drawn up after the convict's execution. But what's important is the name of the coroner who wrote it, Courtney Stevens. There's no doubt in my mind that the Professor case is at the heart of a link that we have yet to uncover.
The point is, if you're going to make a claim about that waxwork being inside the birdcage, you need to give us some evidence.
The piece of glass! The piece of glass! Because it was in his pocket!
Oh, yes.
It was in his pocket, and it's from the Crystal Tower!
What's that? Piece of glass? Though it's unusually thick for glass.
Yes, it's a piece of broken glass that we found inside the jacket on the waxwork. It's not ordinary glass, though. It's very thick and clearly made for extra strength, much like the special glass that was developed for the construction of the Crystal Tower.
Now that this assertion of yours about the waxwork has been backed up by some solid evidence, it would be wrong of me as a man of science not to pursue the matter further.
If this brainy gentleman says he's right, then he must be.
Bonk.
And then corn just explodes into popcorn because it's near the fire. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusioned Plays The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice. And just a little reminder before we jump on in, please don't forget to give us a little like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we'll go back to playing the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, where we resolve nothing.
Maybe not this episode, but we will eventually.
And I've just realised that
And-
I did a save here and it stopped it doing the little so apologies there.
Oh, no.
And Sarah did do a perfect introduction.
She did.
Go me. Can I get a gold star, please?
Yes. Even though she sounded sad.
Ready? You have...
Oh, I'm sorry.
And... there's your gold star. Right on your forehead.
Thanks.
Pete has found it. Oh,
Ah! The Knight Errant himself. Pete has one.
Sorry? Sorry, Taylor, go on.
What did I do?
has got a new sound button, which is the hyonking. As you.
Yeah.
It's not going to get overplayed to death like the cum button. Oh, for God's sake. Was that a mistake or on purpose this time?
On purpose.
No, I know. Funnily enough, I can see you pressing the button, you donut.
We will eventually start the episode.
Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Sholmes?
I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Did you not see me waving my banner? Go, Ryunosuke, go! Go, Ryunosuke, go!
Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs. As a spectator, at least.
Well, at least in fantasy, not in real life. They're boring as sin.
It depends, actually.
It could be dramatic, I don't know.
I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself.
Oh no, hairbrain. Sorry, I've got to remember the voice now.
I haven't done hairbrain for like awake, and so the voice
Oh, no,
has
that's
gone.
not the voice.
That's
I
not
know.
the voice.
I was just doing a silly.
Oh, sorry.
I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about?
Well, it stems back to trials and tribulations, actually.
He doesn't look like any professor I've ever met before. Who even is he?
Ah, of course.
I would have liked to have been kept in the light, but unfortunately, I'm always in the dark.
You were in Germany already 10 years ago.
Yes, the prosecutor.
Oh, don't confuse matters.
When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me.
Oh, wow.
But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies.
Yes, you sound so sympathetic.
Oh, my boy.
As it turns out, Lord Van Zeeks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he?
And we haven't got Danganronpa as an excuse this week.
No.
That's true.
Yes, how true. His great friend from university in the dock.
And now, a waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth.
Or in the shins, Hurley.
Don't remind me. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man.
You make it sound deliberate.
Well, I mean, Are you suggesting it wasn't? Oh, perhaps you're not quite as clever as I assume.
I can't help feeling that this professor case is...
Prosecutor, my dear, prosecutor.
No, it's professor.
I'm quite sure it's
Professor.
prosecutor. I can't even say it myself.
Say it yourself, Mr. Schultz.
I'm pretty sure it's prosecutor. Iris?
Professor.
Iris? Is it prosecutor or
what
professor?
now, Hurley?
Do you happen to know the identity of this man in this case? Would you happen to be able to enlighten dear Sasato as to whether it is professor or prosecutor?
Hurley?
Yes.
Hurley?
Yes.
You do realise how old I am, don't you?
Yes.
I was merely a twinkle in anyone's eye when this was a thing.
But you've been taking notes of the entire affair, have you not? Ready for our next entry in Rant's magazine?
No. I haven't.
But you always do that, Iris. Oh my. Oh my goodness, honestly, I don't know what we're all doing with ourselves.
Hurley, I can't think of everything. You've wanted me to set up this elaborate spotlight system. I've been a bit preoccupied.
Honestly, I feel like I'm surrounded by idiots.
Anyway, this professor case is really very puzzling. So puzzling, I forgot my line.
If only there was a professor who could help us. Somebody with a hat, for example, who was familiar with puzzles. I can't imagine such a thing.
No, I'm afraid we'll never know. Oh, yes? In what particular manner?
Well, there's Mr. Trevor, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zeeks.
Oh, and this reminds me, we've been rumbled, guys. Apparently, what's his name? Oh my goodness, Gregson did tell Dr. Scythe about the location
Yes,
of
I did
Trevor's
see that,
laboratory.
yes.
Yeah,
So,
I did see that.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
I
saying
did
that.
see that.
I know, I'm just saying. So
I can't. Yeah, I thought he did, but I wasn't sure.
I didn't think he did, and so I was like, oh, but no,
Eh.
we're actually stupid.
Well,
we're not
everyone knew that anyway.
clever. Okay,
Yeah, I was
I'm
going
not
to say,
clever, I'm
it's
stupid.
not the first time that we've realized that.
It's not a shock.
It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow, almost like a conflict of interest, and they shouldn't be involved.
Yes. In fact, I alone am not a member of the set. I alone. Though that leaves me as an empty set, all alone, with no intersection to any other.
Oh, it sounds like my Friday night.
He's not part of the Venn diagram.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
No idea who this could
Don't
be.
know
right?
this is.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Dr. Scythe.
Ah, Dr. Courtney Scythe, nee Stevens.
Nee.
Good. What was that?
What is knee? Is it like the friggin' Monty Python, the knights who say knee? Is she a knight who says knee?
No,
No, it's like a phrase for like referring to your previous, like your maiden name.
oh,
It's
so
just it's a term that's used.
so he's not calling her Dr. Sidney Stevens. Dr. Sidney Stevens. All right, Miss
no,
Stevens.
no.
Scythe
Dr.
Stevens.
Sidney Stevens. Good day to you. No, good day to you.
Hello, Sholmes. That was very shrewd of you.
Well, I mean, don't flatter me. What in particular, pray?
You requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you?
Why would you assume such a thing? I said that in a really weird way. Why would you assume such a thing? Still said it in a weird way.
Because Gregson told me.
Oh, darn.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Nothing like throwing you under the bus, is there?
I mean, Gregson does have a way with words, doesn't he? He perhaps is wont to fairy tales. Words fail me.
To think it's been 10 years. 10 years in the laboratory wielding my scalpel. I smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant.
oh, that's normal.
Is that? I
That's
mean,
a nice cologne.
that's a nice Tinder profile if ever I've saw one.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that smell was. Although, to be fair, if, a woman posted that on Tinder, she'd probably still get a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
Like, even if...
It attracts a certain sort of crowd, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a certain type of admirer, I would say.
A policeman on the jury had a lot to say about you, as it happens, Dr. Scythe. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. Don't kill me.
Oh dear. Something, I just imagine like a door just creeping up behind him with sharpening the knives.
With the scissors.
That certainly won't be possible. Lord Van Zeeks won't be summoning me as a witness.
Oh.
Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. Oh, I can't
Oh.
think why.
Wait a minute. Does that mean Lord Strongheart is somewhat suspect? Wait a
I've
minute.
Well,
always thought
Sarah's
he
been
was-
saying that since the jump.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know. No, I know
don't
that.
like that. Like that guy. There's something fishy going on.
I was just stating the obvious for comedic effect.
Lord Strongheart?
The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case.
Well, no, I thought it was a box, not a case.
Shut up. But please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me.
Oh, yes, this doesn't seem like there's a cover-up happening at all.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. I don't need to speak to you to find things out. I can just observe you.
That's called stalking.
It's called deduction, my dear.
But attempting to hide from the truth, that's cowardice!
I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I have no regrets. None at all. And that's all I came here to say. So, good day to you.
There she goes.
Right then. Well. She mentioned it too. This Pandora's box.
Whatever does it all mean?
There's really no cause for concern. I assure you, when the trial resumes, the meaning will become all too apparent, whether you'd like it to or not.
Well, if you know the deal, why don't you just tell us now?
It saves a lot of headache.
Because that would be telling, my dear fellow. Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. The edge of my seat awaits.
I think maybe you're enjoying yourself a little too much.
Just a tad. Ah, yes. One word of warning before I go. If, in the course of the trial this afternoon, you perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. Like little Toby, perhaps. To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass.
But just so you know, if you do get accused of conspiracy against the crown, I do not know you. I have never been familiar with you, and I will forget your every presence in my life.
And be aware that we will be relinquishing your room and renting it out to somebody else. We desperately need the money.
All right, I understand. Thank you.
Your Daruma will be sold, and I will get my new Stradivarius. Ah, good. I shall make myself scarce then. I purchased a bar of caramel earlier, so I shall be gnawing on that as you gnaw away at the truth. Strange that I purchased a bar of caramel with my name on it. A little bit strange, isn't it? Yes, well.
What did that warning from Mr. Sholmes really mean, I wonder? Especially the bit about whatever may come to pass.
Foreshadowing doesn't exist in this universe.
That's the wrong game!
Oh, I think it does.
It's time for the final chapter then.
Chapter 3 of 5.
I'm determined to find the truth. No matter what.
Okay, let's see how what's it crazy this can get.
Bat poop.
Bat poop crazy.
Bat poop. It just sounds so wrong like
Poopy. Oh, God.
that. Ugh.
If we really need to leave this thing sitting right here, I mean, I don't understand why we couldn't have put it back away, honestly.
Look, I have a bad feeling about this. The last time something got left in the courtroom, it got set on fire.
Yeah.
I just want you to keep an eye on Mr. Reaper there in case he has a can of petrol with him.
I do like the idea of the judge coming in and like, and you've stolen the joke from me before I even get a chance to sit on the stool. But yes, that was where I was going. Thank you. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready and able to continue?
Physically, yes. Mentally, no.
The prosecution is ready, my lord.
Yes, my lord. The defense is also ready.
Oh, very good. As the court is aware, the case under our scrutiny began with a damaging incident at the Great Exhibition. Yet we now find ourselves embroiled in the details of a convicted felon who was sent to the gallows a decade ago. This trial has certainly defied all expectation. It's as seems to be the fate of all trials in which this Nipponese is involved.
This has to be
My
a douche
lord.
nozzle, doesn't he?
He does. He's a racist, father!
Here, you're a racist now, father.
It's like, so then, let us begin our exploration of the defense's assertion that the waxwork was cardinally involved in this matter. Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. My lord. It just sounded really quiet then, like... Are we still awaiting the arrival of Madame Tusspells? I really would quite hope to get a little bit of a look at her. She's quite nice.
Put your eyes back in, sir.
Not at all. She is in the antechamber as we speak, and ready to be summoned. Oh, delightful.
I feel like with her sort of dress code, I think she'll be the one doing the summoning.
She'll be the one. There might be something might be going up in flames. Hopefully not her.
Or someone getting their head dipped in the cauldron, I think, maybe.
Very well. Bring in the witness. At once, my lord. Go fetch him!
Yeah.
Bailiff! Bailiff! Madame Tusspells to the stand!
Oi!
Yeah.
Fetch the broad!
Bailiff! Show Madame Tusspells to the stand.
All right, you pompous little.
That
Become a lot more intense.
Oh, the camera. It's serious when there's a new camera angle.
If Trevor is responsible, as I'm sure he is, it means he must have had an accomplice in Dr. Scythe.
And what connects the pair to them is the waxwork.
Yes, the model of the professor. That's the key to the link between these otherwise unrelated individuals.
Oh, this is so exciting. I can't wait to see what
Mr. Shoes, will you keep it down?
Sorry.
I'm trying to concentrate.
So exciting. This caramel's delightful.
It's a tenuous link, admittedly. But at present, it's all we have to go on.
Plus, I realised that Sholmes wouldn't have known any of this because it's all in blue text, so it's internal.
Well,
Unless Renoski...
there's a 50-50 chance that he's able to read Renoski's
Renoski is
mind.
actually he's probably just like, it's a tenuous link, admittedly, but at present, it's all we have to go on to the whole court, really.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Just thinking aloud, sir.
I don't know why it's... she's making
Making
shows.
shows.
State your name and occupation for the court, please.
My name is Madame Esmeralda Tusspells. I am a waxwork artisan and the proprietress of the Madame Tusspells Museum of Waxwork.
There's going to be a point where she basically stabs this thing into the head.
Yeah.
I'm just calling it now.
I'm expecting the nose to get, like, chopped off by accident. Chipped off, sorry.
You will have to pardon me for working as I testify. My new exhibit must open very soon.
I love that emote so much.
I know.
Like that animation. Just
That's my default face tomorrow when I go into work.
Oh dear.
Oh, so he finally gets a statue, does he? Now there are two of them in the world.
Well, that's not fair. How am I supposed to know which one the real one is so I can kick him in the shins again?
It's just like they're
Best
so
to
alike.
kick both in order to be sure.
Actually, that's a good idea. Thank you, Runo.
Oh dear.
Hey, what expression is she carving onto that face?
Oh, put your eyes back in your head, Mr.
Wine.
Sato.
Again? How many times
How
must
many
we
of
do
these
this?
how many of these scrolls do you have, boy? I requested wine. A number of days ago, a particular waxwork model was stolen from your museum. Can you confirm this?
Oui, that is true. At first, we believed it had been kidnapped.
A waxwork model? Kidnapped? Goodness.
Oui, my lord. There was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. However, according to what I have just been told outside the courtroom, it was not the true reason. I understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim.
At present, that is no more than conjecture proposed by the defense. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Odie Asman.
But of course, I know him well. He is part of my odious personages exhibit.
Oh, there it is!
I imagine it's got quite the pungent odor.
I detest to say what is evident, but Mr. Asman does not resemble the professor at all.
Yes, but perhaps the faces are very similar.
Are you suggesting that we should see now the demasked visage of the professor? I have here the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open a lock.
That pose.
I know.
I can just imagine some people going, I like that pose.
This is my
For some reason.
You are now my
yeah.
wife. I mean,
My wife.
She can be my wife.
This is absurd.
Pardon?
I don't know what face you've carved onto your fancy figure beneath that mask. But clearly it won't be that of the actual killer.
Indeed. The man's identity was never made public, after all.
The trial took place in a closed court. The proceedings were strictly confidential.
But what you do not know is that my ancestor dug up the body to look at his face for herself.
That's positively revolting. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret.
Oh, but Mary, she just dug up the body. That is the actual body. In there.
Oh, no.
He smells
There i-
wonderful first thing in the morning.
There is... Oh, it's like those resin things that you always see floating about, isn't it? It's like, oh,
I wonder what will happen if you cast a human body in resin. Oh, who knows?
Ew.
there is no possible way that a repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hands on that information. Oh, there comes the cauldron.
Bubbling cauldron.
Give the marsh.
What does that mean?
I don't know, actually.
It would seem you are unaware of the Tusspells principles.
What principles?
The family Tusspells has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned with complete fidelity. Et voilà, our principles. There is a well-known legend that the Tusspells waxwork from the time of the French Can I say that again?
No.
From the time of the what? I'm sorry.
Shut up, you, or I'll hit you with the shovel.
Oh, no.
Nearly did Madame Tusspells then. Look, I'm doing freaking well today.
It's okay.
You can do it.
I can't do it anymore. There is a well-known legend about the Tusspells waxwork from the time of the French Revolution.
It's because I thought she was going to say it as like a question or something weird.
A member of the Tusspells family is said to have made a waxwork of the queen who was executed. Oui, that is true. It was a century ago now.
I remember how she had to flee the crowds of people with the torches. She carried the head of the queen away from the gallows.
I believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death. Actually, at the guillotine site.
Oh, how lovely!
Susato, how do you know all these creepy stories?
You are correct. The model is on display still today in the House of Horrors. We Tusspells will stop at nothing to obtain a faithful replica of our subjects.
Jesus Christ.
What a woman.
Dear me. She's igniting something in this old corpse of a body.
I don't know why. I have no words.
Dear me. A somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose.
This is the classic British understatement. Oh, yes. A disturbing tenacity of purpose. She was literally modeling dead bodies. yes, a disturbing tenacity of purpose. My goodness!
It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject.
But they're dead! Oh, that pose.
And it has been my family secret for generations. What's the matter, Taylor? Do I do things to you? Do I stir something within you?
Is there some activity in certain regions?
Is there a little bit of movement somewhere?
Oh, God. We don't have Danganronpa to blame, and yet
Now you can just blame me instead.
This time it is us. This time it is absolutely
You'll need
us.
to do another apology, guys. Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you mean to say that beneath that mask?
Oui? The true visage of the killer is there.
This is ludicrous! It's out of the question!
The professor spread terror throughout Great Britain.
I'm going to spread terror throughout this courtroom if you don't pack it in.
As a result, the Madame Tusspells special exhibit remains extremely popular even today. The killer emerging from his own grave. It is a sight to behold. You should come.
I don't like how excited she sounds by this.
Taylor, that was not an invitation.
No. Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I think, madam, it would be beneficial to hear your formal testimony on this matter. You will explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in its creation.
With pleasure.
Alrighty.
Witness testimony.
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked society in London. An impression of the villagers.
Are you quite all right, Madame Tusspells?
There were some naughty words in
I
that.
said frickin'.
It sounded a lot like the other one.
No,
Well,
it
I mean,
wasn't.
I mostly heard the language of the damned.
Yeah. Sarah's channeling the spirits of the dead there.
I will be in a minute, because obviously my voice is dead.
No, it's not.
An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse, in accordance with Tusspells' family principles.
Ew, that's gross.
I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the
Intimate.
Interment.
I hid myself until until he gave me a signal. I was there for a very long time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeesh.
So wait, just before you continue, this is because I feel like I have heard this before. Is that not what like Madame Tussauds? Is that actually accurate? Like that is what they did. Like it's not just to.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? The idea that it is actually based on reality in this. Like this. 'cause
Oh,
it sounds-
those British people living on an island in the ocean will do that to you, I suppose.
Marie Antoinette. Oh no, that was
No. Yes, that was. She was one of Henry VIII's wives, wasn't she?
no.
What, Marie Antoinette?
No.
Oh God,
No.
we're really going for
No.
it.
No, it wasn't.
I'm just like sitting over here like,
one.
I'm American and I don't know these names.
No,
Other
it
than
wasn't one of the
something
VIII's
let them
wives.
eat cake, but you know.
She wasn't. Okay.
No.
No.
I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, forget it. Never mind.
It doesn't. The point
Never
is,
mind.
Should we?
Okay.
Would you like Professor Taylor to find out?
I mean, maybe at this point, because we've made ourselves look like a bit of a
What you
tit.
can do is you can interject in a moment and just be like, oh, so guys. No, so I'm sure that the two swords thing though was actually.
Yeah, I think that's
That's not like a mismemory.
There we are.
There it
Right.
is.
Okay. Go. Professor
Marie
Taylor.
Antoinette Josephine Jeanne was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. She was born in Archduchess of Austria and was the penultimate child and youngest daughter of Empress Maria Theresa and Emperor Francis I. She became Dauphine of France in May 1770 at age 14 upon her marriage to Louis Auguste, heir apparent to the French throne. On the 10th of May, 1774, her husband ascended the throne as Louis XVI, and she became queen.
So what I will say there is, while we're obviously hideously off track, perhaps it was Sarah's French accent for Madame Tusspells that brought on the Marie Antoinette French link. But,
I don't know. I forgot. I used to know, but I don't know anymore. Clearly.
So there you go, guys. You've had a nice little introduction into the stupid of Disillusioned plays, a regular occurrence down our neck of the woods.
We have the smoothest brains over here.
Indeed. So
Hey, that's a medical condition.
and so don't
It is actually. I probably think I have it.
and so oh god. And so what we can use it. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
We are
Everybody.
not an advice show.
We are not an advice show.
What?
And then Professor Taylor with respect to Madame Tussauds. The report states that Tussaud was very much part of the royal circle in the 1780s and was once forced to create a cast of the real severed and bloodied head of Princess de Lamballe. Legend has it that de Lamballe was hacked into tiny pieces by the mob, but Tussaud had the important job of immortalizing the royal, even if it meant using her bloody head as inspiration. In addition to the de Lamballe, she also modeled the guillotined heads of Marie Antoinette and Robespierre, although many say she had created an array of other wax figures based on dead people. These figures went on to be displayed to the public in 1846.
So
There's the Marie Antoinette
So
link.
it does come full circle. We're not well, I'm gonna say we. I'm stupid. Sarah's not stupid. Yay!
No, I
and
am
Taylor's
stupid.
really good at looking things up really quick while we're recording, which is great.
Ah, okay. We
Taylor's good at multitasking, and I'm
Jeez.
just stupid. But yeah,
Me
so
too.
there you go. No, well, you got the Marie Antoinette thing.
Yeah, the wrong context.
Anyway, now that, it doesn't matter. No one's
now
going to
we've-
hear this because they'll all fast forwarded over it. So
They've probably turned off by now.
Editing Pete's gonna put a timestamp on there, which is like, if you would like to skip the lesson about the French Revolution,
Please,
please click this timestamp here.
editor's note: Peter is not going to add a timestamp here, so you can all suffer. Anyway,
Are we doing that or not?
no.
Okay. Editing Pete has spoken. Right. Okay.
As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered.
Oi! Is that
And that was
is that
the
a big
last
green pointy hat sticking up from behind that gravestone? What's that? What's that over there? Bill, you see that? You see that hat pointing out from the gravestone?
I can't
I
see
think I
a
do.
bloody thing. I forgot my glasses.
It's probably nothing.
Probably just one of them newfangled designed gravestone
Oh,
things.
hold on a minute. That's one of them there traffic cones. I heard they were going to be making those.
Oh, here, let's get drunk and put it on my head.
we could use it as like as a megaphone. Make my voice down.
I don't think. Anyway,
I don't think traffic cones are a thing.
Bill, is this your cauldron of hot wax that was here left next to this gravestone?
I've just
that
put my
yours?
foot in it.
it's like,
Oh, now who's gone and left that there then?
Dear.
Honestly, I'm quite confused. This court seems to be
I'm sorry.
hideously distracted. The grave digger? The man sanctioned this?
Look, we
I
all
think we
know
need
that
sanctioning.
nobody watches this channel just for the gameplay. At least I hope to
I
God
hope
not,
not.
because
because
You're not
this,
going to get very far.
this is like the worst way to watch the gameplay. to watch a pure playthrough of the game. This is not it.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, this has all gone terribly wrong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's stately obvious. Madame Tusspells.
Oui, I'm here. I think.
Cool. So now that we've
are you quite all right,
Now that
Madame
we've
Tusspells?
noted-
This is not a funny matter.
now that we've noted you down on the register, class is in session. Let's go.
Oui. I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family is celebrated for. Nobody else knew. Only the gravedigger. What harm did it do, huh?
I'm disturbed.
So, you truly saw it. The face of that monster!
Naturally. I was aware at the time that his identity was a secret. But Tusspells would not be Tusspells if we did not insist on absolute fidelity of our sculptures.
This is the part where, because the head fell out of that green balloon, like the face is
It's
like just
mangled.
irreversibly smushed or something
Yeah.
against the inside of the helmet.
Yeah.
Or it's got warm somewhere.
Ugh.
I don't believe this. I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madame. It was very fetching, and especially the the exhibit. Damn. Yes, the exhibit was very interesting. I enjoyed it immensely, madam. A truly blood-curdling scene in which the murderer is emerging from his own grave.
Glad to hear that the judge is keeping up, because I'm pretty sure that's been said a few times up to this point, has it not?
The scene it depicts was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago.
What rumor? A murderer emerging from his grave?
Oh, yes.
I have here a newspaper from the time. I carry it with me. on
Why
the
do you have that?
Oh, my, that looks a little different to what we remember.
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
It's like,
Odie Asman.
My hair would turn white too if I saw the
Yeah.
friggin' shadow demon bursting from the.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed the signature.
Oh, yes.
I hate that side of me. They didn't get my good side.
The special exhibit was based upon the picture in this article. It was the most detailed account of what happened, as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
Odie Asman, he was the one who drew it. What?
That's what Sarah just said, dude.
Oh,
I'm glad you're all keeping up
Keep
with
up,
the call.
Taylor, keep
good
up.
Honestly,
God,
even the
we're
judges-
doing well. We're on fire today.
Even
My
the
goodness.
judge is ahead of you.
I think my brain's frozen
Ouch.
over today.
Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words.
The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur. That is why I have reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum.
This is why I stay
That's
in my
why
office.
half of the people in Britain voted for Brexit, because they enjoy absurdity. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we weren't two of them.
No,
But it didn't do us any good.
not that it helped.
No. No.
And it has, and it hasn't ruined the country at all.
No. Never.
You're telling me that Nigel Farage's promises of opulent wealth for every member of Britain weren't true? What?
Shock. Horror.
Wow, we're going across current events. We're going across world history. This is an educational channel. This is an Disillusioned Plays is an educational channel. guys.
Taylor, stop misinforming the public. We're not knowledgeable. We've just proved that a few moments ago.
Yes, don't believe everything you hear on YouTube, folks. Let this be a lesson to you. Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, everybody.
And it's a waxwork from that exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it?
That is correct. The professor you see before you here.
Most puzzling. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination.
I feel like there's been a bit of time between her statement and our getting around to the cross-examination. I don't know why.
This waxwork links Drebber to Dr. Scythe. And there has to be some reason for that, which hasn't yet come to light. But I'll find it. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened. I'll prove that Dr. Scythe and Drebber were in on this crime together.
I guess we'll soon see. Shaboom.
Whoop.
The Professor Waxwork.
Okay,
Alrighty then.
press everything.
Again. It begins.
Hold it! And that rumor would be...
A 10-year-old tale now, but one that no Londoner would ever forget.
Iris is like, did somebody say 10-year? Oh, tail.
All right. I know just what you're talking about, I think.
Of course, it couldn't be anything else.
Yes, that story will never disappear.
Oh, get it, because he's a magician.
It'll never pull a Houdini.
Yeah.
The tale of the condemned killer rising from the dead. That is the central attraction of my House of Horrors. The rumor was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. It was in Lowgate Cemetery behind the prison. In the dead of night after the execution of the killer, the The interred professor slid back the stone slab, covering his tomb, and emerged from his grave. The young man who witnessed this felt a scream welling up inside him. But an instant later, he heard an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more. The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life.
It sure is a good thing I keep this gun around in case of zombies. They told me! They said, Bill, you're crazy. There's no such thing as zombies. Why do you have a loaded gun with you at all times? I told him, I said, you never know. And it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And by God, was I glad to have it.
Expect the unexpected, they say.
And I was expecting that something I wasn't expecting would happen, and something unexpected did indeed happen.
The corpse climbed up. Ryunosuke,
You've seen this, dude!
You've seen it! Out of his own grave.
That somebody shot him! Who was it? Nobody knows, even today.
My money's on the pair of purple eyes on the branch. The owl has a gun.
But remember, it was just a rumor.
Oh.
Do you man?
Oh, no!
Fine, I will not say it. I shall remain silent.
Could you say it, please?
No.
Could you say
No.
it, please? Could you say it, please? Could you say it, please?
But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story.
But that's just a rumor. A game rumor.
The good people of London, they love stories like this. That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital.
But was it just a story? I mean, this is exactly the scene that could be seen today in your museum, isn't it?
Oui. This special exhibit was modeled on that very illustration. For a while afterwards, the contents of that article were reproduced in every newspaper imaginable. Madam, might I say something? Please go ahead, mademoiselle. When something is described as a rumor, doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often rumors contain elements of the truth. I see that people from the East can be just as astute as people of Europe.
All right, then. It's a little bit of a backhanded compliment, then.
Can we be sure, for instance, that the professor's execution was successful?
Didn't take the first time, as it were.
It is not possible for the dead to come back to life.
Are you sure? Because I think there's a zombie right across from me.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That was uncalled for.
10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the professor was killed by hanging.
Actually, sorry, I don't want to. How old is she now? Because I just want to imagine, she was 16 or something, just small Madame Tusspells trying to lug a cauldron
around. It's
around.
6 or something.
26.
20. So yeah, she was 16. She's a 16-year-old Madame Tusspells lugging around a cauldron and everything, oversized hat and all.
I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred.
Lovely.
So I can assure you, the man was dead.
But if he was not, he would have been screaming when I poured the hot wax on his face. I see.
How very macabre. It would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate.
Although I do recall some muffled sounds as I poured the wax on his face that sounded like...
Sounded a bit like a dying goat.
Hold it!
Is that true of every waxwork in your museum, then?
It is, assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way.
Isn't that right, Mr. Sholmes?
I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know.
Oh, what sort of letters?
When my time comes, please make a waxwork of me. Promise ça?
No!
My museum is famous, monsieur. To be made into a waxwork is an honor. And for some criminals, a symbol of status, even.
Because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax?
And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London.
Like,
I refer to the star of the special exhibit, of course. The professor.
not Jill the Slipper.
Chill the slipper.
Yeah, well, because it's got to be legally distinct, right?
God's sake.
Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse.
There are no exceptions to the principles of Tusspells.
Hold it! Surely that's illegal! Isn't it, Mr. Zato? Is that illegal?
It is London in the 19th century, Mr. Naruhodo. Anything is possible.
Anything goes, as they say.
Yeah.
As the kids say. Ugh, it would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties. Have you got something to say?
Nope.
Was blinded by monetary greed.
It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt him, to record this history. It is the
Raison d'etre.
raison d'etre of the Tusspells Museum, of how you say it.
I do remember that one. I don't know a lot of French, but I do know raison d'etre. For example, my raison d'etre is to collect fox items and memorabilia.
And Magic the Gathering cards.
But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary poison. The judiciary present knew the killer's true identity. Well, you see, all of the judiciary members are actually the same 5 people. So, it was rather easy to ask them.
In fact, I've seen his face before.
It's almost like it is their raison d'etre, as it were.
Yeah.
I assure you, behind that mask is hidden the true face of the professor.
Do you realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret!
I understand. And now that the truth about this special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close.
Of course it will. Wait a minute. Of course it will. As will your entire museum if you don't tread very, very carefully, madam. Madame.
That could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think. Don't you?
Oh, it's all about you and the history books, isn't it? Where you'll appear, blah, blah, blah. Not about keeping national secrets secret.
Remind me to take a impression of your face, but when you're still alive.
When you're sleeping. In your room. Alive.
In the middle of daylight, because you don't go out. Because you're a
A vampire.
So 10 years ago, on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse.
Oui, exactement.
Hold it! You were there longer than you expected to be.
I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open and I had some problems with the chin.
Dare I ask?
The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. His muscles were relaxing and, consequently, his chin would not align itself correctly.
To say nothing of the smell.
Oh dear, it's a horrible thought. Under no normal circumstances would I have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone.
Oh no, did she say she had it? Normally she'd have an assistant. I've just said that.
Normally she'd have an assistant.
Fine.
Under normal circumstances I would have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone. And as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time.
What do you mean?
When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after death.
Why? 3 hours?
Is
Is that amount of time
Rigor
significant?
I was about to say, is it for the rigor mortis
Yeah.
to calm down?
It is because of
There we are.
rigor mortis.
If only we'd advance the text.
Wriggly mortis?
Oh, there it is.
It's Professor Susato now.
It's the name given to a phenomenon that occurs in the recently deceased bodies. As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the
Oh.
entire body is completely rigid and inflexible.
Oh, I see. So she wanted the rigor mortis to set in, not to wear off.
No, she
mistake.
needs
Right.
it to set in because then nothing like
Yeah.
they're not relaxing into the.
Yes. No, I misunderstood. I thought rigor mortis was sooner, and after 3 hours it wore off. But no, it's the reverse.
This is cheery.
And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state.
Oh, okay, so she did miss the rigor mortis window. That's what
okay.
she's saying.
The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered.
Thank you, Miss Susato,
That's
for
interesting.
that
Why do you
lovely
know this?
bit of information.
No, that is interesting.
I love the sideways look here. Like, this is awkward.
No, but it's interesting because, like, if you now start turning the gears, she was saying that the jaw wouldn't set into place, so rigor mortis hadn't.
I
Well,
would,
it had either already set it had set in and wore off, or it
Yes.
hadn't yet set in.
but how long was
basically.
he buried?
But how long was he buried? Oh wait.
I got worried then. I didn't think I would keep an eye on the time.
Well, that was an education, if a slightly scary one.
As the mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw.
I see. So that's why you wait.
Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work.
It's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder about that information the courts just heard from Madame Tusspells. I believe it's significant.
Yeah, because I'm wondering what his autopsy report says. Has it got like any times on it?
Was it this one?
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Midnight, 17th of June. She waited till dawn.
Yeah, I think it's significant. The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us, would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant, you see.
Of course, I do not mind at all. I can't help feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave.
Oh! Oh, good one, Mr. Susato. Very good.
Shut it, you!
Oh, dear.
I was quite proud of myself for that one.
My dear madam. Oh, wonderful.
I wondered if that's where she was going with it.
This is no time for jokes, Miss Susato.
Oh, what a spoil sport.
Madame, kindly amend your testimony as discussed, and counsel, please control your assistant. Honestly, now is not
That
the
time I
time.
just too funny and everyone chastised me.
Not only are you a woman, but you are a Japanese woman, and we're extremely racist here in Britain. So honestly, you should shush.
The more things change, the more they stay the same, am I right?
Bien sûr.
Bong, belong.
Bong, bong, bong.
I think Taylor took a drink of something, guys.
Yes. Look, it's just like the original Disillusioned Plays episodes, okay?
Yeah, way back.
It took me a very long time.
It was before the onset of rigor mortis. Hang on, sorry. What did she say? In President of Corners with the family principles.
She said she had to
victim
wait till dawn. He was confirmed dead at midnight.
Where's the dawn bit? As dawn approached, I was very worried that I could be discovered. Oh, see, that doesn't say that she started at dawn.
See, I think it's you present the autopsy report on the rigor mortis thing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my only train of thought I can think of.
Let's see. Because it suggests.
Let's see if the spirit of Edgeworth resides within Sarah.
I don't think it does.
Have faith.
Oh, jeez.
Objection!
My brain maybe not be as smooth as I thought.
Madame Tusspells. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows.
And? Is that a problem?
But is it a problem?
No!
What Pete said.
Sorry.
Yeah,
but is it a problem, my dear fellows? We'll have to find out next time, I'm afraid.
Oh.
I'm on the edge of my seat and I'm going to be sat here for a week. So you'd better pop the kettle on, Iris. I'm going to be needing some of that special tea.
And while Herlock's bum goes numb, if you do like what we do, then please consider giving us a like, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday.
If you enjoy this flipping train wreck.
Yeah, it was a bit of a train wreck today, but... oh dear.
We'll catch you in the next one, everybody.
See you later, guys.
And remember, taking wax impressions of dead bodies' faces isn't technically illegal, so go nuts.